Brave Nation. This first bout is 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 4 wins and 1 loss. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 61.5 kilograms. Representing Attila's MMA and Fitness Academy and fighting out of South Africa, please welcome Nkosi, the future, and Ndebele. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man, the mixed martial artist with a professional record of 7 wins and 2 losses. He stands 169 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 61.2 kilograms. Representing Rhino Sambo Club and fighting out of Bogota, Colombia. Give it up for Eduardo El Burro Mora. Your referee is the Vanilla Gorilla.
Everything else is virtually identical. Your referee in charge is the Vanilla Gorilla, Mr. Aaron Wallace, the viral sensation himself. You can already see the distinct height advantage from Nkosi Ndebele.
Phil Nkosi's corner had some interesting advice for him. Said, I don't feel like working tonight. I want you to take him out in the very first round.
Nkosi exhibits just an unbelievable amount of calm for somebody so young in their mixed martial arts career at just 4-1.
The young man is also extraordinary at getting reads on his opponent. It takes an ordinary fighter, a little bit of action right there, it takes an ordinary fighter 2 to 3 minutes generally to get a sense of his opponent's speed, timing, reach on that day, where perhaps some injuries are. When Nkosi does that in about 30 seconds, you're going to see him turn it on very, very shortly.
Nice and light on the feet, just trying to get a measure of the range, switching stances, giving Eduardo different looks. So much data to download. Beautiful straight right down the pipe. Oh, and again to the body. Nice control being exhibited so far from Nkosi.
El Burro showing a little bit of an advantage in the kicks so far. Nkosi showing a little bit of advantage, or maybe a lot of bit of advantage in the punches so far.
Mora is incrementally dropping the hands, and he's leaving a little bit of a gap. When he's kicking, he's dropping the hands, and he's leaving those gaps for Nkosi to exploit.
Nkosi's also trying to draw those hands a little bit lower with his kicks. Feinting a kick up the middle, throwing those low kicks, tends to draw those hands down, and then he goes up high.
Nkosi seems to have settled in this fight a little bit quicker, attacking the body, changing levels beautifully, mixing up the frequency of his strikes nicely as Nkosi.
That height you mentioned, Phil, is starting to show here. That extra reach is definitely a big help in this fight.
The longest period of inactivity in the career of Nkosi Ndebele. His last fight, he defeated Abdul Mumin Musate by a 2nd round TKO at Brave 48. That was back in March of 2021 here in Combat Kingdom, Bahrain. Mora, the more active fighter, did fight last month, defeating Narsen Taberes by a 1st round knee bar. That being the first submission win of his career.
Nkosi, yep, there it was. And Nkosi was starting to ramp up those feints a little bit. That's typical of what he does before he throws the bigger shots.
And he's fighting at range beautifully.
He also believes he has the measure of his opponent's kicks. I think you're going to see him not take those kicks, but he's going to start countering right in the middle of the kicks.
You would have thought the 5-time Colombian national sambo champion would have tried to punch his way into the clinch and try to get a hold of Nkosi, because right now he's struggling to negate that range and get inside his own punching range.
El Burro is, for very, very good reasons, an extremely confident fighter. I think he believes in his heart he can win this fight anywhere, and he aims to prove it.
Still very much trying to download the data, trying to get a read on the stimulus being given to him by Nkosi. Nice, solid inside leg kick, taking a little bit of the pop away, but you can see every time that Mora throws, it's just a little bit shy, a little bit short. Instead of single strikes, I'd like to see him throw 2s and 3s, combination strikes to close that distance. Nkosi doing a great job of throwing his strikes, landing and getting out of the pocket.
One problem that El Burro faces is the same problem anybody who faces Nkosi is going to have. There's nobody who's this tall and this fast in your gym. Are there people who are this tall? Absolutely. Are they this fast? Absolutely not. He is a very, very hard fighter to prepare for.
Good solid leg kick from Mora, but again, I'd like to see him follow that up a little bit with something. Single strikes is not the way to fight somebody like Nkosi.
Good strategy though. He's aware of his opponent's excellent footwork, believes, and it's correct, that if you attack those legs a little bit, it does slow down takes the edge off your opponent's footwork.
Nkosi doing a good job of giving Mora different looks, changing levels. Constant stance switching. 10 seconds to go in our opening round.
Nice try to drop Seo Nagi.
Get the throw, but Nkosi was very much wide to it. The story of that first round there is the difficulty that Eduardo Mora is having to gaining that distance and range settled upon by Nkosi Ndebele.
Indeed, Phil, indeed. However, once you got in, it happens at the very end of the round, but once you got in, although it didn't work, although that drop Seo Nagi did not work, I guarantee you download a lot of information. Guarantee you felt what Nkosi feels like. And that is invaluable experience.
Both combatants ready to go. Surely you would expect more of the same from Nkosi. Again, even we noticed during fight week, he is the calmest man in the hotel. Everything he does with a level of cool and calm that people like you and I just can't quite attain, Kirik.
Phil, I get a little nervous just being around people like him, and he's one of the nicest guys I know. Beautiful overhand shot from El Burro. Nice spin kick from El Burro.
That's what I want.
Finding the range a little bit better as Eduardo in this second round. 6 of Eduardo's 9 professional bouts have gone to the judges, so he is the type of fighter that's in it for the long haul. 2016 Pan Am gold medalist in combat sambo was Eduardo Mora.
Mora's done a great job of following up missed kicks with a spinning back fist, spinning hammer fist. I see Nkosi's got that defensive hand held up pretty high in response. Very intelligent counter to a very intelligent follow-up.
Make him think. That's it. Make him think.
Get that straight right down the pipe. It's beautiful for Nkosi. Oh, he hurt him to the body there, forced him to cover up. Nkosi smells a little bit of blood in the water.
Maybe a lot of bit of blood in the water.
Take it easy. Think about where you
Another
are.
shot to the body. You can see the big, deep breaths from Eduardo Mora.
Make him think. Don't give him time to get comfortable.
Oh, trying to get that knee through. Decent knee shield initially from Mora, but has he been compromised to the body, Kirik?
He may have a broken rib.
Oh! Big shot. And Nkosi is relentless with these knees. Doing a great job of just finding these little pockets of space.
See the opening, take it.
Phil, Eduardo's not trying to change position here. He's not trying to get his back off the fence. That does lead me to believe that there is something wrong with one of those ribs.
Solid grappling being exhibited here by the future.
Feel his body move. Feel his body move.
His coach Attila was not able to be here, but I guarantee he's extremely happy with what he's watching right now.
Cheeky little fence grab from Eduardo.
Knee the back of the leg. That's it. The whole time.
That'll be
Just keep
noted by
moving,
referee
give
Aaron Wallace.
moves. Feel where his weight is.
Solid body lock here from
Let him
Nkosi.
tell you where he wants
And
to
he's
go.
just driving that knee into the meat of the thigh.
That's it.
Oh!
Let him
Tried
tell
the
you where he wants
throw,
to
but
go.
it was
Don't force it.
denied. Now going for that Kimura grip. As we know, Carrick, a lot of the time that Kimura grip is used
Feel where he's weak.
to break your opponent's grip.
Even if you must pull him back.
May try and spin out
Don't
now.
rush. Take your time.
That move is named from Masahiko Kimura, popularized in the modern era of mixed martial arts by Sakuraba. Had a great deal of luck with it. But it's hard to communicate, Brave Nation. Nkosi looks like he's very thin, and people associate thinness with a lack of strength. Do not believe that. This man's power is remarkable.
He has to carry.
Every time we see Nkosi in their Brave Arena, he has developed a new wrinkle to his game. It's that evolution of the sport that's so intriguing.
The wrestling is something he's always kept in his back pocket. He had it, but it's been developing to a higher and higher level. He happens to have a preference for striking, but I think he wants to see what he can do in terms of his wrestling. Maybe impress Coach Attila, who we know is watching on television right now. Little giraffe fighting going on right now. Brave Nation, a central part of this sport, particularly when you're pushed up against the cage, is that head position. Each of these athletes is vying to get their head in a slightly better leveraged position. Right now that position is held by Nkosi Ndebele.
And I say this every time we're watching an MMA fight. This is the most draining aspect of the sport. That clinch game, that 50-50 against the cage, where it looks like nothing's going on, but it's an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Two opposing forces trying to implement their game plan, trying to force their will upon one another. And often that can result in one of those draining stalemates in combat sports. Nkosi again finishing strong, good hips, solid draw.
The exact same thing as tell their fighters, Eduardo Mora, go out there and finish the fight in this round. Nkosi and Ndebele not together again.
Airlines find lost luggage. Yes, they did lose my luggage. Yes, I am salty about it. Yes, I did call them out on worldwide television. Nkosi and Ndebele doing a fantastic job so far at showing maturation as a well-rounded pro. Rounds, you need to throw the kitchen sink at Nkosi and go for the finish.
And Phil, there's a little wrinkle on conditioning. Nkosi chose not to sit down on the stool in that round. He stood the entire time.
That's all he's got. He's not setting it up.
Very measured, mature performance thus far from Nkosi Ndebele.
Nkosi is trying to set up shots a little bit harder now. I think both these fighters have been given the order, end it in this round.
When he throws those kicks, the hands drop, of course. Don't always wait.
If mixed martial arts competition is a dance, it is Nkosi who has been leading that dance pretty much throughout the entirety of this round, and indeed in the beginning of this third round.
Having said that, El Burro has been in the thick of this the entire time. Maybe down on points, absolutely is not broken.
That's where you're going to get him, because he's moving straight backwards.
Doing a good job of attacking in little bursts, almost lulling Eduardo into a false sense of security and then pulsing forward with his attacks.
Phil, that's a method developed by Muhammad Ali. He would flick out a jab, barely touch, throw the exact same jab with power on it.
Don't let him move.
It's a devastating effect. See a little bit of that from Nkosi.
He's only
He'll
moving
throw
to
the
the one
same shot.
side.
One
As
of them will
soon as
have
you
everything
throw,
on
watch
it,
the
one of
kick.
them will have next
He's
to
only
nothing.
going to his
Makes it
left.
very hard to know what's coming at you.
Look, he's only going to his left. Anticipate it. See,
So
same
Nkosi
side.
go to the body with the hands earlier. Might be a good strategy.
That's
again,
it. Now
particularly
put
since he may have
pressure.
caused some damage to the body with that kick in round 2.
And again, in that tiring, draining, debilitating clinch position.
I want you to put damage, of course. Damage. Don't just control. Damage.
Again, I
Knees,
don't think it
elbows.
would be too much
Head
of a
under
stretch
the
to say
chin.
this is potentially the best version of Nkosi we've seen so far in the
Elbows.
Brave Arena.
Break away.
It has. He's shown some wrestling that he may have possessed before, but for whatever reason did not show us. Interesting strategy here from El Burro. Rather than try and reverse position on the wall, he tries to set up takedowns.
Tried to throw the spinning elbow there, just shy, but now he has Nkosi pressed against, but great defense to reverse the position, turning defense into attack is Nkosi Ndebele.
And again, Mora looking for a takedown from that back up against the fence position.
Eduardo Mora has asked questions of Nkosi Ndebele, and he has answered emphatically thus far. Midway point of the third and final round.
Nkosi doing that giraffe fighting, positioning for superior leverage with his head. Mora again was trying to set up a takedown from there. Partially committed to it and was countered.
Just how frustrating is this for Eduardo Mora, Kirik? He's tried to initiate and secure the takedown and ends up getting taken down himself.
This is a perfect example of mixed martial arts. It's very easy to shut somebody down. If Mora never wanted to be taken down, he absolutely could do that. The reason he was taken down is he committed to a takedown himself. That is the nature of the sport.
Momentarily had wrist control, thought about Kimura, but good job to get back to his feet from El Burro here. Probably going to eat a couple of knees. Oh, rolling for the knee. Point of the knee is safe, and he eats a big shot for his trouble.
Big props to Nkosi for escaping from that. That was, if I recall correctly, how El Burro won his last fight.
Correct. Third round as well, showing that he's dangerous throughout the course of a 3-round fight.
Looking for that standing figure 4, that standing Kimura again. Nkosi may switch to a takedown grip and got it.
Beautiful work, but again, Eduardo very much doing everything he can to stay in this fight, but he needs to pull out the spectacular right now, Kirik. What do you say to him if you're in the corner? Disengage and just either with your shield or on your sword kind of approach.
He's landed very many low kicks. Absolutely would be disengaged, throw a couple of low kicks, try and get Nkosi's hands a little bit low, and then throw a high kick out of nowhere.
Well, he only has 30 seconds with which to do something like that. When you have Nkosi Ndebele with a body lock around your hands connected, it's going to be very difficult to create the separation and then the offense in the limited time we have left.
Stay active here for me, lads. Come on.
Short time now, Brave Nation.
Watch the back of the head.
10 seconds.
Watch the back of the head.
Again, every time that Eduardo has tried that takedown, has been denied. That just approaching the prime attack. The possibilities of potential for Nkosi are limitless at the moment.
100% limitless to me, absolutely. Should not feel bad for not getting a submission, for not getting a knockdown. But he's fighting Eduardo Mora, who is a tremendous fighter.
Yeah, props to Eduardo Mora. Lesser fighters would have realized that they weren't going to win the fight. They have taken the attitude and right to the end, showing that type of heart, that type of qadya.
Corner from South Africa, Nkosi, the future